1-6 doesn't define who you are. What defines who you are is what you do when you're 1-6.
Ray's Ray. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. Best linebacker I've ever had play behind me.
When it comes to Hall of Fame, you have to define the position. What did you do to help define the position? And Ray, in today's game,
he took me in when I came here in my first year in 1998. Amazing guy.
Today is the best day of your life. Believe it.
He might be the finest quarterback produced in the last 10 years.
He is someday like that. That's all I need.
Respect is earned. Respect is never given.
There's no tackle I can't make.
Boy, we are gonna play a football game tonight, boy.
There has the football, has a lot of time, throws underneath, and it's picked off. Ray Lewis has the ball. He's on the 40, 30, could go all the
way. Imagine this. You're a running back. It's 3rd and short. The crowd is deafening. The line is set, and across from you is a man staring like he already knows the play. His eyes don't blink. His stance doesn't move. It's not just intimidation, it's calculation. The ball snaps, and before you can take your second step, Ray Lewis is in your chest like a heat-seeking missile. For nearly 2 decades, Ray Lewis wasn't just a linebacker. He was a force of nature, the emotional center of the Baltimore Ravens, and one of the most intense, intelligent, and impactful defenders to ever touch an NFL field. Today, we're breaking down why Ray Lewis might just be the most intense linebacker of all time. And trust me, much like trying to run up the middle against him, this is gonna hit hard.
We wanted to go around the room and pick one play that you remember that epitomizes what Ray Lewis is about.
100 plays? Or
just one. Right.
Ray Lewis didn't just have a long career. He owned the middle of the field for 17 straight seasons, all with the Baltimore Ravens. From 1996 to 2012, he became the franchise's identity. He holds Ravens records for most seasons played, 17, most career games, 228, most career tackles, 2,643, including a mind-blowing single-season best of 225 tackles in 2003. To put that in perspective, 225 tackles is like playing linebacker on rookie mode in Madden, except it was real life. Most linebackers dream of lasting a decade. Ray gave Baltimore nearly 2. He wasn't just durable, he was consistently dominant. But longevity is just the foundation, what he did during those years. That's where Ray's legend explodes, like one of his sideline hits. You ever see a stat and think, wait, that can't be right? Ray Lewis is the only player in NFL history with at least 40 career sacks and 30 career interceptions. That's right, he didn't just destroy quarterbacks. He out-intercepted a lot of DBs while doing it. He also ranks second only to Hall of Famer Jack Ham in total takeaways by a linebacker since 1970, with 50, 31 interceptions, 19 opponent fumble recoveries. Ray wasn't a specialist. He was a Swiss Army knife with heat vision. He could blitz like a defensive end, drop back like a free safety, and diagnose plays like a coordinator. His stat sheet doesn't just show greatness, it shows reign. But here's the secret sauce. These numbers didn't happen because Ray was simply athletic. They happened because he was smarter than everyone else on the field. Ray Lewis treated film study like a sacred ritual. Teammates said he'd call out opposing plays during practice before they even ran them. Analysts like Louis Riddick praised him for his preparation, football intelligence, instincts, and execution, calling it the real key to his GOAT status. Quarterbacks like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning admitted Ray lived rent-free in their heads. He could read formations and line adjustments like he had the offense's script. He once said, "If I can figure out what you're doing before the snap, I can take your soul after it." That's not just linebacker talk, that's villain monologue energy. And when your mind is 3 steps ahead, your body gets to make plays that end up on NFL highlight reels forever. Ray Lewis didn't just tackle, he erased people. Take the 2000 season. Lewis led one of the greatest defenses in NFL history, winning Defensive Player of the Year and spearheading a Ravens unit that allowed just 165 points all season. That's 10.3 points per game In the modern NFL, that's basically illegal. In Super Bowl 35, he orchestrated a dominant performance. The Ravens didn't allow a single offensive touchdown. Ray was everywhere. If the ball moved, he found it. Whether it was blowing up fullbacks in the hole, leaping for acrobatic picks, or chasing down receivers sideline to sideline, his highlight tape plays like an action movie. You don't just watch Ray Lewis, you feel him. But Ray wasn't just making plays. He was conducting an entire defensive orchestra in real time. Ray Lewis wasn't just the middle linebacker. He was the voice, brain, and pulse of the Ravens defense. Every snap started and ended with him. If the quarterback was the CEO of the offense, Ray was the defensive general who ran the entire battlefield. Before each play, he'd read the offense like a poker player spotting tails. He'd scan the formation, catch one tiny shift in the tight end's stance or the running back's depth, and then the magic would happen. He'd start barking adjustments like a man possessed. Check, check, hands waving, eyes locked in, and suddenly 10 other guys are moving like chess pieces exactly where he wants them. You could actually see his impact on film. The Ravens' front seven would shift in unison as if they were synced to Ray's heartbeat. Corners would adjust coverage on his cue. Safeties trusted his calls so much that they'd jump routes based on his read. This wasn't freelancing. This was orchestration, and it wasn't just about X's and O's. His commanding presence made veterans and rookies alike snap to attention. Hall of Fame safety Ed Reed has talked about how much trust the defense placed in Ray's voice. If he made a call, you followed, no questions asked. Teammates said that when Ray spoke in the huddle, it didn't feel like a play call. It felt like a mission. There's a story former Ravens players tell. Sometimes, Ray would make mid-play adjustments that didn't even exist in the playbook. He'd diagnose something on the fly, shout a switch, and the defense would just know what to do, and it worked. That's not something you can coach. That's football genius meeting leadership in real time. Ray turned Baltimore's defense into a symphony of controlled chaos, and he was the conductor, waving the baton in the middle of the storm. His leadership wasn't just about passion. It was tactical, surgical, and relentless. And when you combine that kind of leadership with the sheer number of trophies and accolades he stacked up, the resume speaks louder than any pregame speech. Ray Lewis didn't just collect awards. He rewrote what a linebacker's resume could look like. 2 times Defensive Player of the Year, 2000, 2003, one for leading the most dominant defense of the modern era, and another for a career-best 225 tackle season that looked like a video game stat line. 12 times Pro Bowler, 8 times first-team All-Pro, and NFL 2000 All-Decade Team. For over a decade, he wasn't just in the conversation, he was the standard. Add in 2 Super Bowl rings, and the picture starts to look legendary. The thing is, these weren't hollow accolades. Each one represents a chapter of dominance. In 2000, he was the general of a historic defense that didn't allow a single offensive touchdown in the Super Bowl. In 2003, he somehow elevated again, controlling games to the point where entire offenses game planned just to avoid him and still failed. Linebackers don't usually get the spotlight, but Ray forced the league to shine it on him. His accolades don't just impress, they cement him as one of the most decorated defenders to ever play. But his impact wasn't just on paper. In Baltimore, Ray Lewis didn't just lead the defense, he was the franchise. When you thought of the Baltimore Ravens in the 2000s, you didn't think of their offense, you thought of Ray Lewis. His pregame dance became a symbol, fans went wild, teammates fed off it, and opposing teams knew exactly what kind of day they were walking into. Ray represented Baltimore's blue-collar, fearless, gritty identity. He wasn't just the best player on the team, he was the emotional thermostat of the entire city. From rookies to veterans, everyone took cues from Ray's energy. If he was locked in, the defense became an unstoppable storm. And like every great story, this one has an ending, but Ray made sure it was worthy of a Hollywood script. Ray's 2012 season could have ended with a whimper. He tore his triceps mid-season, an injury that usually sends veterans into early retirement. But this was Ray Lewis. He rehabbed like a man possessed and came back for the playoffs. And not just to play, to win. The Ravens made a Cinderella run, taking down Peyton Manning's Broncos, Tom Brady's Patriots, and finally winning Super Bowl 47 against the 49ers. Ray Lewis walked off the field as a two-time Super Bowl champion, surrounded by confetti, ending his career the way legends are supposed to, on top. But there's one thing that might be even more iconic than his tackle: his words. Ray Lewis could hype up a toaster. His pregame speeches were electric. They weren't just "let's go guys" pep talks. They were sermons, equal parts poetry, fire, and war cry. Teammates said his words made you feel like you were fighting for something bigger than football. NFL Films basically built a highlight empire around Ray's speeches. What time is it? Game time. Wasn't just a line, it was a command. He didn't just lead with his pads, he led with his voice. And that's rare. And when it's all said and done, his place in history speaks for itself. In an ESPN survey of 50 experts, reporters, and analysts, Ray Lewis was voted the greatest linebacker of all time. Not one of, not arguably, the greatest. Why? Because no one matched his combination of intelligence, ferocity, leadership, and longevity. He changed the way the position was played, proving that linebacker could be both cerebral and terrifying. Ray Lewis wasn't just a football player, he was a standard. Ray Lewis is the kind of player who makes you rethink what intensity even means. He was a game wrecker, a chess master, a hype machine, and the heartbeat of a franchise. So I've got to ask you, is Ray Lewis the greatest linebacker of all time, or does someone else deserve that crown? Drop your pick in the comments, hit that like button like Ray hit running backs, and if you love deep dives into NFL legends, make sure to subscribe. We've got more greatness on the way.